Good afternoon, all. This is Jennifer, your clerk for this meeting. Just to let everybody know, we are recording. Mr. Chair, it does look like we have the majority on and logged into PrimeGov. It looks like Commissioner Guillory is still working on getting signed in, but otherwise you should be good to go.
Okay, I'll wait. It looks like we have about a minute till 3 o'clock. So once that rolls around, I'll read the script and we'll get started.
This is Commissioner Guillory. I thought I was signed into PrimeGov.
Commissioner Guillory, this is
Yes.
Jennifer. I do not see you currently connected to this meeting. Could it be possible that you just need to connect to the urban design meeting? So you went to the
Possible.
meetings and committees and the drop down connected to the live meeting?
Okay, am I showing up now?
Not yet. Tell me what you're looking at, sir.
It's the Urban Design Commission 826
So click
Oklahoma
into that
City
meeting.
meeting viewer.
And there you are. Perfection. Thank you so much, sir.
Sorry about that.
Not
Before we get started, commissioners, if you're able to, if you have video available, I've been asked to remind everyone to please turn on your video. And with that, it is 3:01 and we will get started. Welcome to the August 26th, 2020 meeting of the Urban Design Commission. This meeting is being held by video conference. My name is Lee Peoples. I am the chair of the commission. No physical location will be provided for the Urban Design Commission meeting. The meeting instead will be live streamed from remote locations. We want to request that everyone joining us today, except commission members, keep your microphone muted until you are called upon to speak. As instructed in the agenda, those who called or emailed us in advance to let us know your name, contact number, and agenda item you wish to speak about will be recognized first. Before the Urban Design Commission votes on each item, I will ask if there are any members of the public that wish to speak. Anyone speaking will be given 3 minutes to speak. Since you're muted, when I call on you, please unmute yourself. On a phone, you will press *6 and then state your name and address for the record before you speak. On a desktop or laptop, you hover your cursor over the microphone icon to remove the diagonal red line. For anyone speaking today, including commission members, please identify yourself when you speak. If we lose our connection for this meeting, the meeting shall be stopped and reconvened once the connection is restored. If communications are unable to be restored within 30 minutes, items remaining for consideration will be continued to the next regularly scheduled Urban Design Commission meeting on Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020 at 3 p.m. by video conference. The agenda and documents for the meeting are located at the link on the agenda. Then you would select agenda on the right side of Urban Design Commission meeting for today's date, August 26, 2020, to see the agenda. When you click on an agenda item, the relevant documents will come up in the box on the right. Jennifer, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Peoples,
Here.
Commissioner Uday,
Present.
Commissioner Blatt,
Here.
Commissioner Charnako,
Here.
Commissioner Guillory,
Here.
Commissioner Holmes, Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Nguyen,
Here.
Commissioner Varnum. Mr. Chair, you have quorum.
Thank you. Second item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. This will be for the July 22nd, 2020 meeting. Are there any corrections or discussion of these minutes? Hearing none, do we have a motion for approval?
I motion to go ahead and approve the minutes.
All right, we have a motion by Nguyen, waiting for that to come up in PrimeGov.
It's Tony Blatt. I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Nguyen, a second by Blatt, and on my PrimeGov screen, it has popped up, but I'm not able yet to cast a vote on it.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm working on technical
Okay.
difficulties at the moment. I apologize.
No problem.
Mr. Chair, I apologize. Would it be acceptable for me to do a roll call vote so we can
Certainly.
continue the meeting?
Yes, let's please vote by roll call. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please proceed with the roll call.
Commissioner Peoples,
Aye.
Commissioner Uday,
Aye.
Commissioner Blatt,
Aye.
Commissioner Charnako.
Aye.
Commissioner Gilreath,
Aye.
Commissioner Nguyen,
Aye.
Mr. Chair, this motion passes with all ayes.
Okay,
I was a little late. I'm here, James Warren.
it sounds like James Varnum just joined us. And Mr. Varnum, you just missed the approval of the minutes on item number 2. Those were approved unanimously. So we'll move on. Item number 3, we have no cases withdrawn. Number 4, we have no continuance requests. Number 5, consent docket. We have no items on the consent docket. And number 6, cases for individual consideration. I do want to pause. I received a question from our municipal counselor, just to remind everybody, if your camera is working, commissioners, please activate your camera. Okay. Item number 6A, cases for individual consideration, UDCA-20-23, 1520 Northwest 23rd Street. Staff, would you please introduce this item?
Yes, this is a case for certificate of approval for a project at the southeast corner of Northwest 23rd Street and McKinley Avenue. It's an existing structure at the site and remnants of what was once a parking lot that is proposed to, the building's proposed to be renovated with new cladding, new parking lot facilities to be installed, along with new sidewalk, fencing, trash enclosure, and landscaping. Just so you know, you may recognize this project from a couple of years back. We had an approval on July 25th, 2018 for the same site under UDCA 18-00024. That was also for renovation of the same existing structure that had been abandoned for quite some time. That approval expired on July 25th this year. We have reviewed the proposed project, all the exterior renovations to the building, parking lot, and the landscaping, and found it to be consistent with all the applicable development regulations and design guidelines. However, there is one issue associated with the landscape buffer that is required at the rear southern edge of the site. We've outlined for you in the staff report the requirements that define the necessary landscape buffer adjacent to the adjoining R1 property to the south. And the applicant has chosen to satisfy this requirement by placing the 5-foot wide buffer. It's actually about 8 feet if you look on the site plan, in an area that is or was formerly a public right-of-way for an alley between the lots on the north and south side of this block. That alley was closed back, I believe, in 1926. However, it is still public right-of-way because it has not been technically vacated. And therefore, at any time, the city could move to reopen that alley and reestablished it as an alley for public right of way or public access. There are a lot of improvements in this alley, most notably fences for the residential projects on the south side of the block. However, if this alley were to be reestablished by the city for whatever reason, the proposed landscape buffer would have to be eliminated to make way for that access. And it would be eliminated with no place else on the site to reestablish that required landscape buffer. And therefore, we've noted that we can approve this project as shown on the plans for you, but only with the condition that the applicant execute all the necessary steps to have the alley at the southern edge of the property vacated or produce documentation that the alley has already been vacated, and that the vacation shall be in effect prior to the issuance of a building permit for the project. With that, we've completed our presentation on this particular item and we're prepared to respond to any questions the commission may have.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions for staff? Michael, I was curious, has the applicant indicated a willingness to go through the steps to have that alley vacated?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Michael, this is Commissioner Guillory. Is it possible for the applicant to get the alley vacated for just that piece of property, or will it require vacation of the entire alley for the block?
I believe it can be vacated piece by piece.
Okay.
Perhaps the city attorney may want to weigh in on that.
This is Susan. Yes, I believe that they can, the abutting property owner can just do that portion that abuts their property.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, is the applicant present?
Yes, I am Holly Hunt. I'm the applicant's architect for
Would you
this
please-
project.
Please give us your address for the record, please.
Oh, 400 Northwest 23rd Street.
Okay. If you'd like to make
Yeah,
a presentation, go ahead, please.
Certainly. So I actually did do some research and went to the county clerk's office. Well, I spoke to them on the phone, I should say, and got emailed that vacation order. It was signed, I guess what Michael is describing as the city closing the alley, but it states in there that it was vacated. And again, the current condition, this alleyway has been seemingly closed and used by the adjacent properties for several decades. So I think it's safe to say that the vacation, that's not an issue for us. I mean, we certainly don't mind taking those steps as stated, but also I find it very unlikely that the city would ever reopen this. So whatever we need to do to suit the needs of the vacation, I'm happy to hear about them. But yeah, to our knowledge, we produced the documentation showing that it was closed or vacated or whatever. So whatever we have to do to get that vacated, we'll be happy to do that.
Okay. Unless you have anything else, any questions for the applicant's representative? Or discussion among the commission? Anyone else on the call that would like to speak to this item? Staff has prepared a recommended motion with the condition, of course, that they vacate the alley. So if we certainly could have further discussion or a motion.
This is Tony Black. We'd like to make a motion to approve the application on the basis that the project meets the regulations and guidelines of the Urban Design Overlay District zoning ordinance as referenced in section C and D of the staff report, with the conditions that the applicant shall execute all necessary steps to have the alley at the south edge of the property vacated or produce documentation that the alley has already been vacated, and the vacation shall be in effect prior to the issuance of a building permit.
Okay, we have a motion by Blatt, which has now appeared in PrimeGov. So Commissioner Blatt, if you want to click on that. Well, Commissioner Gilroy went ahead and moved that in PrimeGov, and it has been seconded by Commissioner Chernico. And we'll see if we have technical difficulties again on voting in PrimeGov. It's telling me, okay, there it is. Please cast your votes. Looks
Sorry, I
like-
didn't mean to jump the gun on moving it.
Right,
No,
all
no.
right. Right, okay.
It looks like we're waiting on Commissioner Varnum to cast his vote in PrimeGov. Are you, Commissioner Varnum, are you able to cast your vote in PrimeGov? Commissioner Varnum, are you able to cast your vote on this?
Okay, hang on. I think I got it.
Yeah, I believe you did.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yes, so this has passed with all commissioners present voting in favor. So item 6A is approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That will conclude cases for individual consideration. We do have an item under 7A, other business, the 2021 meeting schedule that you can pull up if you have the agenda pulled up. And I believe staff would like a vote on this. Am I correct?
Yes, we do need to have.
Okay. So the schedule is up there with dates and changes to the normal Wednesday meeting date. Any discussion or motions to approve?
This is Tony Blatt. I'll move to approve the 2021 meeting schedule of the Urban Design Commission.
Okay. And I see that you have done that in PrimeGov. We have a second by Commissioner Varnum, and cast your votes. Okay, the 2021 schedule is approved unanimously. Communications, we have several communications here. Would any commissioner like to request discussion of these items? 3 items there, or 2 items, I'm sorry, for administrative approval. It doesn't require any further action on us. Would any member of the public like to request discussion of any of these items? Okay, hearing nothing there. We'll move on to 8B, comments from planning staff. Do we have any comments?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, moving on to comments from commission members. I do have one that came to me from our legal counsel. In the future, when we're holding these meetings by video conference, if you do not have the video capabilities, you need to state that that you will be on just doing teleconference. And Susan, can you clarify, do they need to do that ahead of time, or can they just do it at the beginning of the meeting, just state orally?
That needs to really go on the agenda.
Okay,
So they, if they're not going to be on their camera, they need to state that they will be attending versus teleconference.
okay. So maybe when the staff does the quorum call or sends out the agenda, just to, if you're not going to be able to be on video, let them know that you'll be on the telephone.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And it might be helpful if staff could remind us when they send that email out that we need to take that extra step if we're not going to have video capability to reply back to staff, and then they can note that in the agenda.
We'll be sure to request that in our quorum call.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other comments from other commissioners? All right. Well, our next meeting date is Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020. New applications were to be submitted by staff Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. Revisions on continued projects to be submitted by September 1st, 2020. That will conclude our business for today, and we will be adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.